When a customer comes to me at the bank, I want them to feel like it's on a personal level. A lot of my existing customers, I feel like we're more family than just a customer-banker relationship, and that I'm doing everything I can to help them. And when they leave my desk, I want them to say, wow, that Shelley Kearns at Happy State Bank really cares about me, and I want them to tell their friends and family that.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Amarillo City Commission held on the third floor of City Hall this Tuesday at 3 p.m. The first item of business on today's agenda is the minutes. Those minutes are regarding the meeting held June 18th. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? Not entertain a motion.
Mayor, I would move for approval of the minutes as presented. Second the motion.
We have a motion for the minutes as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 4-0 vote. The next item is ordinance number 7413. This is the first reading of an ordinance amending ordinance number 7351 to correct the typographical and scrivener format error in section 4-3-31 relating to the residential roofing requirement. The 2012 ordinance included a map which, when codified, obscured certain text for decking requirements. The ordinance makes no change to this requirements. Is there any questions about this item from the audience or from the commission? Not entertain a motion.
I move approval of ordinance number 7413.
Second. A motion and a second for ordinance number 7413. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 4-0 vote. Ordinance number 7411. This is the second final reading of the ordinance changing the zoning of Lot 9, Block 8, Fairview Townsite Addition, Section 123, Block 1, and Survey, Potter County, in the vicinity of Southeast 16th Avenue and Dallas Street, from Residential District 3 to Residential District 3, with a specific use permit for a Type B manufactured home. Are there any questions about this item from the audience? From the commission? Not entertain a motion. Mayor, I move we approve ordinance number 7411.
Second.
A motion and a second for ordinance number 7411. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 4-0 vote. Ordinance number 7412. This is the second final reading of the ordinance vacating an existing 20-foot alley and a public utility easement in Block 1, Western Plateau Addition, Unit number 1, Section 6, BS&F Survey, Randall County, in the vicinity of Southwest 47th Avenue and Southwestern Street. Are there any questions about this item from the audience or from the commission? Not, I entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move for approval of the second reading of ordinance number 7412. I second that motion.
A motion and a second for ordinance number 7412. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 4-0 vote. Resolution public hearing. This resolution conducts a public hearing on and considers order of removal for substandard structure located at 910 Northwest 19th Avenue. We will now conduct a hearing to determine if certain properties constitutes a nuisance by virtue of a dangerous structure or accumulation of weed, trash, and junk, or some combination of these, pursuant to city ordinance. The mayor will make a determination as to the procedural and evidentiary questions. I will now call the case involving 910 Northwest 19th Avenue. Owner is the state of D. Clayton, the estate of Clarence Clayton, substandard structure. Would all persons who may desire to speak and give evidence on this matter please stand and raise your right hand. Now do each of you solemnly swear to affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay, if you'd be seated then. Mr. McDonald, could you now present the case?
Thank you, Your Honor, Commission. This particular structure is a residential wood frame construction on a pier and beam wood foundation. The structure has been vacant since May of 2000. The exterior doors have been damaged or inoperable. A large tree has fallen onto the structure, which has damaged the roof, which is deteriorated, failing, and leaking. The ceiling has loose framing members. The foundation has pieces missing and is failing. The wood wall structure has twisted or bowed studs and is coming loose from its bottom plate. Plumbing, electrical, and mechanical systems have been vandalized and or removed. The building provides an environment of illegal activity. There has been no recent attempt by the owner or owners to repair or abate these hazards. This property is not only a nuisance to the community, it presents multiple hazards for its neighbors, it creates an unsafe environment, and is dangerous. Demolition is recommended. Beginning date for this file is April of 2013. Our initial notice of a dangerous structure was sent via certified mail to the estate of D. Clayton, care of the estate of Clarence Clayton, Lakeitha Hibler, at 2 different addresses, Vale Street in Claiborne, Texas, Wood Street in Claiborne, Texas, and Shirley J. Clayton White, mailed on May the 17th of 2013, not yet as now returned. Public hearing notice was sent certified mail to the following interested persons: the estate of D. Clayton, care of the estate of Clarence Clayton, Lakeitha Hibler, both at 2 addresses, Vale Street in Claiborne, Texas, and Wood Street, Claiborne, Texas, and Shirley J. Clayton White, on June the 5th, not as of yet, not returned. We posted the property with a placard, notice of condemnation hearing on site on June the 5th, 2013. Building safety has had no contact and no recent permit activity from any of the interested parties. The current taxes on the property are $437.47 for the tax year of 2012. No delinquent taxes. There's been no water service to the property since May 15th of 2000. Over the past 2 years, this property has been maintained by a city contractor. October 17, 2012, mow, junk, trash, and debris removal. July 20th, 2012, mow. There is currently a work order to remove a fallen tree from the property. Currently, there is $1,074.37 owed to the city against this property for previous cleanups. This is the file and the business record that we have created and maintained in the ordinary course of business in the Department of Building Safety. The contents were made by or at the direction of a person with personal knowledge thereof at or about the time of the events or conditions reflected herein. The photographs in the file accurately portray what they represent. I tender it to you as evidence in this matter for the purposes of this hearing. However, because this is the original and active file, I request to substitute the electronic version of this file. Such electronic copy is an exact duplicate of the original file that has been secured on the city's IT network under Hummingbird number 2169606.
Thank you. Excuse me, Mr. Brown. Thank you. The original file is admitted to the record, and if you bring it forward to us to hear for this hearing, the substantiation of the electronic record is allowed for all the purposes, including appeals. Commissioners, you may now examine the original file and ask questions of Mr. McDonald.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
a question. Did I hear you correctly that this has been the water service, utility services, and this have been all since the year 2000?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. I think we have no other questions at this point. We will now hear from persons with a legal interest in the property who were sent notices of this hearing. If such person now fail, refuse, or neglect to appear, they are deemed to have admitted liability for the defects and violations as stated in the initial notice. Is there any owner, occupant, or lien holder of this property present who wants to present pertinent information or to question the building official? Okay. Now, is there any neighbor or anyone else who desires to speak about this property? Yes, ma'am, if you would come forward, if you'd give your name and address, any comments? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ingrid Williams, and I reside at 906 Northwest 19. It is to the east of this location. My concern is simply safety. The tree the door is closed, but behind, as you saw, it is open. I'm concerned that children, with summer coming, they're going to want to play. They're going to want to go in, and it's awful. Also, in the past, we have captured a possum, several skunks, and some kittens. And I don't mind the kittens. My concern is the possum and the skunks. I do have a small animal, a little puppy that I don't want attacked, and they come into the backyard also as well. I would really like, if it's not going to be demolished at this time, to be boarded up all the way around, and those areas under the house to be boarded up as well. I don't know if there are squatters in there as of yet, but it's bound to happen. And my parents are elderly, and we come and go, like normal people, but we're a little bit concerned getting out at night if somebody's kind of lurking around. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much for appearing today.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, Mr. McDonald, do you have any further additions?
No, certainly not.
Okay. Are there any questions from the city commission at this point?
Only a comment, and I say this often, whenever you see pictures like this, and know what Ms. Williams and other neighbors have put up with for a long, long, long time. And for your benefit, Ms. Williams, we have come up with a new process to expedite, to move faster on things like this, but they have to be brought to our attention. And I'm saying, I wish that there were a lot of neighbors like yourself that would bring cases like this to us, because that's just sad, and that you have to live next to it. And I'm sorry. I hope you're going to see us move fast.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
And to add to what Jim's saying, this came about because the state allowed us to speed up the process. We adopted all those, and now this process used to take 1.5 years to 3 years. Now it will take between, I think is it 90 and 120 days total. Isn't that correct? So we would intend to deal with these. It's a strong feeling of this commission that we've got to clean up and continue to bring these things up around the city. So thank you. You've been way too patient. Okay, do we have any other comments from commissioners or questions? Okay, then the hearing of this evidence is now closed. Commissioners, we must now publicly deliberate our decision. We must weigh the following factors: the validity of the alleged violations, the severity of such violations, or any corresponding danger to the public. Also take due regard for the private property rights of the owner, fair opportunity for the legally interested parties to have been notified, and a problem and the opportunities to repair, remediate, or remove the dangerous structure, or the accumulation of excess vegetation, junk, or debris. We may also weigh the private property interests of any neighbor who may be affected by any further delay or deterioration in the subject property. Finally, we may consider any other relevant factors that are unique to the circumstances of this case. And this would be the time. Mr. McDonald, I would ask you, just for the neighbors' edification, what period of time, if we take action on this today, what period of time will it take for it to be removed? Because apparently there are those open doors. What happens next?
Typically, we attempt to secure the property. We'll send it out to bid, and we'll remove the property just as quickly as we possibly can.
And range of time that could take, do you have any idea?
Less than 30 days.
Okay, good.
But it will be secured immediately.
Correct. I believe the property is secure. It was secure. We personally went in and secured the rear door, the front door and the rear door, and that was the only primary openings into the structure, short of under the dwelling itself. But I believe the building is secure. I mean, that obviously changes daily or overnight. So we've done our best attempt to at least temporarily secure the structure.
Good. So I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move that we approve the public hearing on and consider ordering removal of substandard structure located at 910 Northwest 19th. Item number 2, finding the structure or any other improvement of any kind or any part thereof is dangerous and ordering its removal 10 days after the notice of this decision.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Oh, yes, and number 5, the interested persons in the lot, tract, or parcel of land with accumulation of rubbish, trash, waste, solid waste, and/or unsanitary matter described in the notice of violation are hereby ordered to remove the same from the premises within 10 days from this order.
I'll second those two recommendations.
We have a motion and a second for those recommendations, number 2 and number 5. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 4-0 vote. This matter is now concluded. The city manager will direct and take all necessary steps to inform the interested parties of the outcome of this hearing, their appeals rights, and to implement this resolution. Ma'am, thank you for being here today. I hope you'll see some resolution very quickly.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. As Mr. Sims said, let us know about others.
I will.
Okay, and encourage the neighbors to, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Thank you, I understand. Okay, the consent agenda, it's recommended the following items be approved and the city manager be authorized to execute all documents necessary for each transaction. First is A, the purchase of electronic ticket writers, and B is the approval of city property insurance. Are there any items that need to be removed for separate consideration by the commission? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Mayor, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as outlined.
Second.
Is there any discussion from the audience about these consent agenda items from the commission? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 4-0 vote. This concludes the regularly scheduled agenda for the commission meeting today. It's our customary at this time to allow citizens of this community with matters pertaining to city policy, programs, or services to speak to the commission. And the floor is now open for such comments. We encourage those. If anybody would like to come forward, please, sir. It's for everybody's, come on up, sir. For everybody's information, we'd like these comments to be within 3 minutes. If you could, if you state your name and address as you come forward. Thank you.
Alan Abraham, resident of 7205 Southwest 35th Avenue, Amarillo.
Welcome.
I've been quiet for a while. Today I'd like to make a suggestion, or offer a suggestion, and if this is not the official way to do it, then perhaps you can counsel me as how to make this suggestion. I think the time is right for a public hearing of some sort, presentation, sponsored by this commission, to inform the public of some of the costs of the 3 downtown projects that are proposed for city property. And my reason for this is that we're getting into serious money. A couple of sessions ago, we passed what amounts to about $865 million building improvement, and the value of that building.
Sir, I didn't quite hear, how much did you say, 865 million? Or what did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, that's too much, 865,000.
Oh, you said million. I was a little concerned. I missed something a couple weeks ago.
You're concerned. Imagine being up here all by myself. Yeah, 865 million. Thousand, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Center Point. Center Port building. Its value plus the 393 improvements. We're talking about what it costs to raise the building on, or the buildings on the police property in preparation for these 3 projects. We're talking about that was $236,000. We're talking about an unknown cost to raise the buildings of the property we just acquired, or AEDC acquired, to try to make room for the multi-purpose venue. There is a $3 million, and I got it right this time, price tag on preparing these construction sites for utilities for utility upgrades. I personally track money spent on planning and preparation to get us to where we are today. And some of that money's been well spent. I'm not arguing that point. And it does amount to $5 million, and that is the correct designation. So I say we're into serious money. And we haven't even got a building started yet. We know what that price tag is. The other part of this,
You have 30 seconds.
boy, isn't that great? The other part of this is that in the promotion of these projects, we have heard it said from time to time, basically we're getting a free hotel. I know otherwise it can't possibly be that way. There's nothing free in the world. If we get it privately sponsored by investors, we still have to pay them back. And on top of that, through the decisions of this commission, the citizens are going to be the owners and therefore responsible in some way. Now, I have been told by officials that there is a firewall that protects us from that indebtedness coming back on the city. That kind of issue, I think, needs public airing. I think the citizens need to be taken into your trust in the spirit of full disclosure and tell us how all this money is going to be paid for, taken care of. It's just not fair to continue the way we're going without that kind of disclosure. I think a public setting would be ideal for that, and that you be the sponsors of it, and that you be the ones presenting the information to the citizens. Thank you for your indulgence.
Mr. If you wait just a second. Mr. Norris, would you outline for us, because of the public meeting situation, and of course, some of these topics are being studied by very careful groups, what are our options to respond to this format today? What are our options as commissioners to respond?
Well, because it's an open public forum with an unscheduled topic, the Texas Open Meetings Act restricts you to replying with either a statement of fact or policy, a statement of law, or to deliberate whether to put this on the future agenda for consideration. Those are the unfortunate limitations that you're...
We can ask staff to look at this.
Or you can refer to staff. Sure, you can refer to staff for Mr. Abraham to meet with the manager.
Mr. Abraham, I would say that if you have questions, that certainly there are things that we want to make more public, and we're not trying to hide them, but there are certain real estate things that preclude those sometimes. Although, I think like you that there is going to be a time where it's going to be out there in front of everybody as it gets disclosed. I would like to refer it to staff and maybe sit down with you and delineate the things that can become more public as they can. I don't disagree with you that they should. I think to clarify what I've said, and obviously people may have said other things to you, but what I have said to the public and to everyone that I've been talking to about this is our view was we weren't going to raise taxes to fund those three things. And so we know there is an investment. There's been no question that tax money has been spent to get things ready. You've delineated some of those. But I'd like to refer this, and if you have that list, I've made some notes. If you would mind, afterwards we can get together and talk about it, and maybe we can sit down and find with Mr. Atkinson what things we feel are proper to deal with now and what things might be deferred until we feel that they're publicly proper to disclose. There are real concerns about real estate transactions and getting people to invest that amount of money and disclosing things that might harm their position. So we have to be cognizant of that, but we also are cognizant of the public responsibility that you indicate, and it's balancing that between what is necessary and what is absolutely needed. So if you don't mind, if we could visit afterwards, is that okay, Mr. Atkinson? If you have time after this meeting, I do, maybe we can sit down and visit for a few minutes and set up another time to discuss when and where those would be discussed. Is that okay?
That's all right, yes. And I'm not asking in anything I said.
I know.
I didn't ask for anything in a real estate deal or an investor deal. I'm talking about money that's already spent or proposed to spend in getting a construction site ready. I have been told, this wasn't a public setting, but it was two officials, you two, unless I misunderstood it, there's a firewall. it's a metaphor,
You're exactly right.
to protect us from any indebtedness on the construction of these three buildings. I find that hard to believe, and I don't know how the public can possibly buy that finance, because people don't put their money in here saying, yeah,
Well, they
I don't understand that, and I think
We
the
can
public
talk
needs
about
to
it
know
afterwards.
how that's gonna be financed, without getting into the details of who's financing.
Those people expect a return, and that is calculated into it.
So the hotel isn't free.
Well, nothing's free. I absolutely agree with you.
You heard it here.
Nothing's free.
Thank you, sir.
The day of the free lunch is over.
Thank you, sir.
I understand.
Well, one further point to Alan and to add on to what you said, Mr. Mayor, and that is that every penny of public money that has been spent has been done in these meetings and after being publicized in our agendas. And none of it was done behind closed doors or in smoke-filled rooms. And whether it's the clearing of where the old police department was across the street over here, where all of the monies that have been spent have been done in a public setting.
I agree.
And anyway, I want to make that point clear.
I never implied
No,
otherwise.
I know.
That's where I get my information.
That's fine. Over a period of time, obviously, it is taking time, and it gets muddled into the time frame. So we'll talk after the meeting and see if we can define some that are prime for clarification and what isn't, okay? We'll talk about it after the meeting. Is there anyone else that would like to comment? How are you today, man?
Good to be back and see you.
Thanks for being here.
Wanda Sander, 4702 Hall Lane. I'm still trying to get my area part of Amarillo. I work daily in the neighborhood. There's no messes within my reach. And sometimes the owners come out and help me, and sometimes they don't. But it's been several years since the city had people out there. I haven't seen a city vehicle, and daylight to dark, I'm out there working, trying to make it a livable place. The only city vehicle I have seen was a few days ago, a city dump truck went down my street that's 4 blocks long, going really fast with all them little kids playing out there. No police cars, nothing. And we have that new addition across the road, and they do go over there, but we aren't even acknowledged as being there. And it's been hard for me because I'm a cleanup person, and sometimes most of the time I just go on people's property and start cleaning up, and then somebody will come out and say, oh, I'll help you do that, you know, when it's their property. My property is clean. But one issue is the 4th of July is here. Fireworks. It's supposed to be illegal to shoot off fireworks in the city of Amarillo. Last year, I called 911 4 times because across the alley from me, Randall County sold it to somebody. They're never out there. I take care of that too. And they had 9 cars parked right across the alley shooting the fireworks right over the top of my house. And I called 4 times because for insurance purposes. So if my house catches on fire, I'm lucky I have a metal roof. But when we call the police, oh, we're busy. We pay the taxes you require us to pay. So aren't we part of the city? Anytime you contact anybody in the city, we're busy. So, 79 years old, and I'm out there working, and I should not have to sit on my porch for 4 or 5 hours waiting to see if it's going to burn down because there's no city help. I haven't seen a police car, and I don't know when. And so, I need some help. There's not too many people out there doing that, you know. But I try to keep it up as best I can. And I don't care if I'm trespassing. I'm not going to have a bunch of junky old place by my house. So I just get out there and start cleaning, and then they'll come out, oh, I'll help you, you know, and it's their property. But my main concern is, I've been out there almost 20 years, and, I'm not wanting to be sitting on my porch and watch my house burn down.
Mr. City Manager, can we visit afterwards and see what things we can clarify, whether we've been responding properly, and then whether we can do something to augment this at all? I know that's been a concern since I was on the commission before. We had many discussions, and it's a private property issue more than it is a city issue, I think. But certainly.
We can, and what I might suggest is, Senator, if you have just a moment, got two people here in the room that I think can probably start getting some lists from you and getting some stuff started. Mr. McDonald, Scott, if you would, right here. This is the gentleman that can help us identify, he'll get us started, some of these properties, and we'll put some resources out there, see if we can encourage those folks to start taking care of those properties.
Yeah.
Ms. Covey down here at the end of the dais, if you can get with her, get some more specifics. Of course, I know where you live. In fact, I think I've been out there looking at some stuff for you several years ago.
Yeah, several years ago.
Yeah, and I haven't been back in a few years, I admit. Been up and down 46, but haven't been in.
Well,
Are you-
I'm in that area every day cleaning somewhere, and I have not seen a city vehicle except that dump truck going really fast down the street with all them little kids out there playing.
Okay, and we only have so many of those. We know how to look into that. And we will be out across the entirety of the city on July the 4th. Of course, one of the concerns out there is you're right next to the part that's not in the city limits. And
No. The city limits is moved to 58. I live off of 46.
You live right off of 46.
I live right off of 46,
Okay.
and the city limits has been extended to 58.
Okay, well, we'll look at that. Do you have time to visit with Mr. McDonald and Ms. Covey when we're done?
Well, if I get the money each year to pay my taxes, why am I not considered?
Could we, ma'am, ask you, because the time is really up, could we ask you to meet with us afterwards?
Okay.
Those folks that were identified, they will be happy to visit with you. And I will too later if you'd like. Okay? Is there anyone else who would like to comment today? We want to thank you for participating today. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.